Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, you guys, today we are going back inside the dressing room, and just like last week, we are revisiting an old favorite. When I very first started the series over a year ago, the first two stores I went to were Old Navy and actually, I think the next one may have been Aerie, but then the next one was Abercrombie. Again, I really haven't figured out like the format. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a stressed out mess inside these dressing rooms. So I thought it was time to revisit Abercrombie. Mostly because frankly, Abercrombie surprised me. I remember liking most of the stuff and in general being intrigued, and I haven't been back since. So I wanted to see what was up and take you guys with me. Okay, so for those of you who don't already know, Abercrombie & Fitch is an American lifestyle retailer that was founded in 1892. Did you guys know that? I didn't fucking know that. Extremely surprised when I recently found out that information. But yes, apparently in 1892, Abercrombie was founded by David T. Abercrombie. It was meant to be an outfitter for the elite outdoorsmen, according to the internet. Some wealthy old-timey dude bought a huge stake in the company. His name was Ezra Fitch in 1900, and I'm sure you can see where this was going. It then became Abercrombie & Fitch. Since it's had an over century of history, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I think the Abercrombie that you and I know is the Abercrombie that was sort of invented in the late 80s. That Abercrombie was spearheaded by Mike Jeffries, who was a somewhat problematic CEO, and it kind of created this culture around Abercrombie that a lot of people in my generation associated with it. Two dark stores, intense smelling perfume, sexually charged teenage advertisements, half-naked store employees, just a weird overall vibe and like really unwelcoming. There's a whole documentary about it, culture of racism and sexism within the company. That is a culture that they have been attempting to shake. There's been management restructuring. In 2017, they got a new CEO, and I mean, it's hard because at that point in 2017, I really never saw myself going back into an Abercrombie. I was too traumatized from my teenage years. But I will say, in the experiences that I've had since then, mostly with my experience on YouTube, I think they've done a pretty decent job of turning it around. I feel like they're trying to place themselves as like slightly above fast fashion retailers, like more akin to like H&M and Forever 21, somewhere like higher, you know, a tier above in terms of quality and price, and also sort of rid their problematic image. The stores are more open, welcoming, well organized, well lit. The clothes are, you know, well, they're trendy pieces, what you would mostly expect, but they're pretty good quality. The prices are still too expensive. They were always too expensive, even when I was a teenager. But there's like, I didn't notice any like half-naked models on the wall. They have a good size range. I know they're not completely size inclusive, but they do have a plus size line. And I think they've done a pretty decent job of turning the boat around, basically, for those of us who decided to repay attention in the last like 8 years, I guess. That being said, let's go see what I found at Abercrombie. This would be their fall 2025 sort of store offerings. I went to a mall in the Valley of Los Angeles where I live, so results may vary, but I assume it's all pretty similar across the board. I will say that I noticed clothes up to a size 34, like on the, so like I would be a size 32, right? Like, so up to a size 34 from that scale. The store was extremely well stocked. They had every size of everything that I wanted to check, and also they had a lot of really cute stuff. It was hard for me to pare down. You know, I tried to pick something from like every section of the store, a little something from the front, from the middle, from the back, different kinds of pieces, and honestly I was overwhelmed with choice because everything was available in my size and everything was really cute, I thought. Unlike my expectations of my teenage years, the store is bright, light, quiet, well organized, well staffed. What most people would expect from just like walking into a random store in the mall, but what most people do not associate with Abercrombie is kind of the case, especially in, I went to like kind of a nicer high-end mall, and so yeah, it was a well-stocked Abercrombie. That being said, before we jump into the clothes, here are my measurements. I am typically a size 12 or 14, large or extra large on bottom. I try and go for mediums on top. I'm pear-shaped, so I narrower rib cage and torso, wider hips. So with that being said, let's just go talk about the clothes. Okay, the first outfit I tried on consisted of this Silky cami in a size medium. It was $60, made of 100% polyester, and I paired that with these mid-rise 90s straight jeans from their Curve Love, I was gonna say Curve Love division, Curve Love line, that's the word. They're a size 32 and they cost $100, made of 99% cotton and 1% elastane. Starting with the top, I liked a lot of things about this top. It was lined, so it was not see-through. It had a really cute pattern and design. I loved the lace on the chest and the fact that the lace went all the way around to the back of the design too. I love the cutout in the middle. Also, it had a zipper closure on the side. It wasn't just like a cami that went over your head, so I felt like it allowed it to fit really like nicely on my chest. I really felt secure in it, even though I wasn't wearing a bra. I also really like the crop. I love a crop top. I love a cropped shirt, so I was really into that. Also, I will say the straps were adjustable, but they were very thin, like super thin. I don't really have a big chest, so thin straps don't bother me that much. They don't really like dig in, but I do know from my friends who have larger chests that thin straps can be really uncomfortable. Also, I don't need to wear a bra because I'm like less than an A cup, but for those of you with a bigger chest, I don't know how, it would be hard to find a good bra to go with this shirt, I think. Not impossible, but hard. Honestly, and this might be just because I paired it with jeans, but I kept getting the vibes of like, if any of you guys are old enough to remember like going out to bars and clubs in like the mid-2000s, mid-2010s, like your friends would be like, what are you gonna wear? And then like in the group chat it would be like, I'm gonna wear a cute top and jeans. I'm gonna wear a cute top and jeans. I'm gonna wear a cute top and jeans. Like every time we went out, we would wear a cute top and jeans. And this whole vibe was like bringing me back to, I'm gonna wear a cute top and jeans. Like I would wear this to a club in 2013, you know what I mean? So anyways, speaking of the jeans, I just fucking love Abercrombie jeans. Their Curve Love line is so great, and these pair in particular are such a solid classic pair of jeans. When I'm picking out jeans to try for these videos, because there's always so much variety and I'm not gonna try on every single pair of jeans because that's not what this video is. Like I always like sort of gravitate towards jeans that I'm naturally attracted to. So if I were gonna buy jeans, it would probably definitely be this rise, this cut. I just loved everything about them. They felt so sturdy, but that curve love and the pattern making like left so much room for me in my hips. Also, there's 1% elastane, so they were nice and stretchy, but they still felt nice and sturdy and rigid. I just love them. I actually still think $100 is not that bad for a solid pair of jeans that would hopefully last a really long time. And also this heart embroidery on the waist, it really almost got me to buy them, even though I don't need new jeans right now. When I do though, these might be a contender. Okay, moving on to outfit 2, which consisted of this cow print mini skirt. It was also part of their Curve Love line, a size 31, and it was $70, made of 99% cotton and 1% elastane. I paired that with this horse sweater in a size medium for $70. This was made of an acrylic nylon polyester blend with 3% wool. Starting with the skirt, I'm not really sure why I grabbed a size 31 when I grabbed a size 32 in the jeans, but they ended up actually fitting me pretty great. I think I must be like between a size 31 and 32 in Abercrombie. They looked really short on the hanger, and honestly they look really short on the mannequin too, but I wanted to try them anyway because there weren't a lot of people in the store when I was there, but the people that were there were like all over these skirts, and they had so many of them. It made it seem like these must be really popular. There's no pockets, which is a huge no-no for me, and there's no button fly. The way you get into them is just a zip at the side. The skirt is definitely really short. I thought I would be so uncomfortable like flashing my ass in these, but I was surprised to find they were built-in shorts underneath, so I actually felt really secure and comfortable in this skirt, which I did not anticipate. I mean, I would not personally wear this, but I do understand the appeal. Moving on to the sweater. Okay, so basically I'm getting the vibe here, and I kind of got the vibe in the store, that Western chic is back in a big way for the fall. I kind of saw inklings of this during Coachella season when I went into the dressing room at Urban Outfitters. There was like inklings of like a Western aesthetic coming back, but holy fuck was it in full force at Abercrombie today. I would, by the way, never buy a sweater with a horse on it. Fun fact about me, I'm deathly afraid of horses. But we can talk about this sweater regardless. It was thick and warm, really soft, but I will say it was a tiny bit itchy. Honestly, it was just a cute and classic sweater. Nothing mind-blowing about it, but really nothing like bad for me to say, I guess, about it either. Maybe a little bit overpriced at $70, but kind of in line with like Abercrombie's price points in general. So I don't know, this sweater was fine. It was fine, it was a sweater. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, you know? That moves us into outfit 3, a matching set. This nautical print top in a size medium for $60, made of 100% polyester, paired with this nautical print skirt in a size XL for $60, also made of 100% polyester. I love a matching set when I can find one, so when I saw this, I was very excited. So let's start with the top. I hated it. The print is really cute, okay? Let's talk about the things I liked. I fucking love this print. Also, the top was lined, wasn't see-through. The straps were adjustable. But other than that, I did not like the tiered design. I did not like the way it tied it up in the front. I did not like the peplum bottom. Like, stitching of the tiered lining is stretchy, which was nice, but the overall effect that it had on my body did not look as cute as I would hoped. I will give the caveat that every reason I don't like it is subjective. I just didn't think it looked good on me. I think it could beautiful and cool on somebody else, but I was just like, nah. Especially paired with the skirt. I feel like it was too much, you know what I mean? Speaking of the skirt, I actually, going into it, thought I would hate the skirt and love the top, but it turns out that I hated the top and kind of loved the fucking skirt. Like, love this skirt. It was longer than I was expecting, and I really appreciated the length on me. It was both lined and had shorts underneath, so I felt really secure with it on. I knew there was nothing see-through about it. It had an elastic waistband, so there was no zipper or anything. You just pulled it on. The elastic was really good. It stayed up super well. I actually liked it so much that I wanted to test it with a different top because it was really hard for me to picture myself liking it with the current top. So I put it on with the next top, and I even loved it even more. I still really like the print, like I said, and I appreciated it even more in this piece that I loved. I wasn't planning on purchasing anything, but if I was, the skirt would be interesting. Too expensive for what it is, which is ultimately just like a trendy piece. But if this was like in a solid color or something, I could see it being a really cute basic. Okay, you already got a sneak peek of the top, but outfit 4 consists of this wool sweater vest in a size medium for $60, made of 100% cotton, and I paired that with these high-rise 90s relaxed jeans in a size 32 for $100, made of 99% cotton and 1% elastic. Okay, starting with the top, I love a sweater vest. This was really cute and cozy. I liked the thick, chunky turtleneck that matched with the hem on the bottom. It gave it a really classic look. I kind of blended in with the background of the dressing room, which was not intentional, but I did think it was funny. The fit of the sweater vest in general, this was a size medium, remember? It was slightly oversized, but it had larger armholes. It was like made for layering, as a good sweater vest should be, and I really loved it. Moving on to the jeans. These are a high-rise, non-curvy version of the first pair of jeans I tried on. Weirdly, they were a bit too long. I think it's because they were a different cut. These were more of a boot, like flared cut instead of a straight cut. So it had like extra fabric at the bottom. I'm 5'8". I don't know if I mentioned that. So they were just a little too long. They still fit well, even though they weren't part of the Curve Love line. So like, they don't need to be Curve Love for me to fit great. I did prefer the first pair of jeans, but these fit just fine as the same size. The little faux suede belt addition thing was interesting. Kind of made the jeans like too trendy for me, because in my opinion, like, jeans that you purchase should be kind of an evergreen thing that can last in your wardrobe for like multiple seasons, if not years. So obviously the like faux suede thing was part of this whole Western motif they had going on. I didn't like it, but it was cute. It was fine. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's just not my thing. So yeah, so these jeans were really solid, but not as good as the first pair of jeans. So it's hard for me to like wax poetic too much about them. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was my second experience in Abercrombie. What do you guys think? I was very intrigued. I was very happy. I had a great time there. Personally, I wouldn't really buy a lot of the stuff that I tried on, but I had fun trying it on. The only thing that I was really tempted by was maybe that first pair of jeans, but I still thought everything looked pretty cute for the most part. And yeah, I'm happy with the direction that Abercrombie has gone in general, and I've never had like an overwhelmingly bad time trying on their clothes or experiencing their clothes since their sort of reinvention in the last 8 years. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you oh so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.